Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of the TripOverDrip podcast. I have my friend here, confidant and brother. His name is Jason. He goes by Soda.
Hey, hey, what's up, everybody?
How are you guys? How you doing today, bro?
Oh, shit, man, not too bad, not too bad. Just excited to get this boat rocking, fucking ship sailing, man. Like, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it finally feels kind of trippy to even be here now. I'm like sitting here. I got the lights in my eyes and stuff. It's been a long time going, and to be honest, I just take accountability that I'm scared to succeed, bro. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's that's a common uh, human kind of emotion to go through, man. Like, that's a normal thing to, but like it's not so much the success as it is the unknown. You know, it's just the unknown has a name, and that name is success.
Right. And then I guess on the flip side too, there's like a fear to fail too. I mean, I don't think you ever really escape the fear of
I mean,
following a passion or a
the fear to
path.
fail anything new that you try is just, I mean, that's kind of what defines the ones that make it or break it. You know, the ones that let that fear of failure drive them and fuel them, or let it, destroy them and shut them down and you know allow it to block them from attaining the things that they want.
I could agree less. Really, like I think that you're spot on. I feel like uh, that was really profound actually. Thanks, bro. So I guess obviously I don't know really what I'm doing, so I'm just going to start talking. I guess Jason, if you could give us just a little bit of a little pick me up of beginning to end. You know what I'm saying? Like
I mean,
how did you get here today?
shit, yeah, man. I'd be happy to. It's an honor to be here, by the way. Trip over drip, first episode. It's awesome. Um, but I come from a really, really long and I mean, what's the word really? Like, we have a saying in our way of life that our truth is stranger than most people's fictions. Because I mean, like, as I get into some of this craziness, you'll begin to understand that sentiment, I guess. But it's uh, it's started way back. I was 16. I started doing Native American sweat lodges. 35 now. When I was 21, I found myself at the Lakota Sundance ceremony. It's a pretty heavy hitting ceremony for people that don't know. It's like the culmination of the ceremonies that's done that year. It's like our New Year's, everything. And it's a 12-day long ceremony that I was blessed to be accepted into, to be a part of. And um,
So
you know,
have you done like a lot of stuff that with the native culture?
oh yeah, yeah. I was fortunately I was adopted into the Oglala Lakota Sioux people around the time of my first Sundance when I was 21, and it's been an amazing honor since to have them share their way of life and their sacred teachings and their for lack of a better word, the magic to their medicine that they carry and have carried for thousands of years, and just a really connected way to live with Mother Earth, not on Mother Earth, and also be able to, you know, so a little quick brief history lesson. Up until 1973, it was outlawed for anyone to perform any Native American ceremonies. The United States government would literally uh, put you in prison for life for participating in any of the outlawed ceremonies up until 1973, and so a lot of the tradition was lost up until that point, and everything like that, and it was really kind of crazy and hectic times and everything, but it allowed for this change, to happen. It allowed for the culmination of the occupation of the schoolhouse in Pine Ridge, South Dakota in 1973. something people can look into, the American Indian movement. They paved the way for people like myself to have the opportunity to be able to meet these families that do these ceremonies and be able to make relations with them and be accepted into their family and be welcomed into this sacred holy dance, you know. And
It's powerful, bro.
It ties in, you know. There's some Christic, I wouldn't say Christian, but like Christic type teachings in there as well, because I mean, it's no secret that Jesus came to the Americas. You know, the statue of Jesus in Rio de Janeiro, where he came over the mound, is where he descended unto the people. They say that's where they built the statue there. And even the Native Americans of this continent have stories of a walking traveler. You know, it fits all the descriptions of Jesus, the Quetzalcoatl, you know, the Aztec legends, the plumed serpent. You know, he was walked like, you know, floated like a feather, but walked on the earth everywhere he went, kind of thing. And it's
So Christopher Columbus was full of shit, right?
oh yeah, the Vikings had been here well before Columbus ever landed on this rock, man. I mean, trading with the Indians and I mean, peaceful relations between seafaring people from other continents and the people that lived here originally for thousands of years before Columbus got lost and thought he hit India, when really he just needed to just stay in bed that day.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, so
kept
one of the
his syphilis
craziest
and his
things
smallpox
about
and all that.
one of the craziest things about the Americas, from my well of knowledge, living here in Utah, is that supposedly after Jesus died, he rose 3 days later, and then rose into the heavens.
Yeah.
And according to
The
the Book of Mormon, he came to Americas and started teaching.
Well, so this isn't even just according to the Book of Mormon.
He came to America,
So
and
that's
the LDS still believe that when he came here, he took someone with him that was mortal, and they're like still on the earth, alive today. That is in the Mormon doctrine.
So I don't know a whole lot about that, particularly just because I kind of feel the same way about Mormonology that I do about Scientology.
If I'm right or I'm wrong, let me know in the
And
comments.
I'm sorry if I offend anybody with that comment, but I have they're just both brand new religions in the spec of the timeline of, you know what I mean, Scientology and Mormonology. They're just, and there's too many. I mean, I'm big on faith. I am huge on faith. I believe, you know, you can move mountains with faith the size of a mustard seed.
Amen.
But there is no power in having faith in a blatant con.
Correct.
And that's my only hang up with that. So I don't have a lot of knowledge about any of the Mormon doctrines or teachings like that, just the same as I don't for Scientology, because I mean, if I wanted to go read a space book, I'd read Star Wars.
I agree, but the reason I ask is because obviously he came over to the Americas and the Native American people were here. So do they have
this
talks?
is oral tradition.
Do they have talks about
like,
a Jesus
I mean,
figure?
like put any any mainstream or organized religion out of the picture completely, and the ancient peoples of both continents, all of the old elders from way back. I mean, there are depictions, there are petroglyphs, there are oral stories of Jesus being on this continent at the time. I mean, there was a huge time in his life that he was just gone.
Right.
You know, I mean, there was just nothing in the Bible. There was just, he was 12, he was 32. You know, and at that time, that's when, I mean, a lot of the oral traditions fit that age line for his appearance here in the Americas.
Right. There's also a lot of people that think that he went to Egypt to
study
at the mystic school. I
absolutely
mean, but if
did.
he went from,
He absolutely did.
if he went from
Egypt,
Jerusalem
he went from
or
Egypt,
you know,
down
to
through
Egypt,
Egypt, okay, across the Atlantic there, from where Africa and Brazil are, you know, not very far at all. You know, those there's archaeological digs of Egyptian seafaring crafts being found in South American waters.
Right.
You know, so it's not outside the realms that he traveled down that way. That he learned the ways of, you know. But at the time, Exodus had well passed. Okay.
Right.
So I mean, remember, the Hebrews fled Egypt because to get rid of to peace out Pharaoh. You know what I mean? And God fucking straight up, he chopped off the heads of every single Egyptian god. That was the 10 plagues. Every single one of those plagues had a representation of the Egyptian god that it was affecting, and that's what convinced Pharaoh to let Moses go and all that, because each one of these, up to even Ra, the sun in the sky, being blacked out, and so for Jesus to go down to Egypt, when he there's beef between God and the Egyptians and pharaohs from Exodus on. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's compassionate, loving. You know what I mean? Forgive and all that stuff that gets taught when Jesus comes in New Testament and everything like that. But for thousands of years up till that point, the return of the Messiah, Egypt,
the other god was a gangster.
Egypt in Hebrew.
Yeah.
They weren't.
The other god was
dude,
telling people, go kill these people, go do this. Yeah.
I mean,
it was a darker part of the Bible.
He was building his chosen people. I mean, if you read the Hebrew Bible is the one that's the best to read, because the Torah is actually the first 5 books of the Bible that we know.
Right.
It's Genesis, Exodus, all the written recording of Moses' life.
Right.
But the Hebrew Bible is the most ancient version of the story that can be documented. I mean, today is the most ancient, unadulterated, unedited, straight up, as it was written, when it was written, even though it was written hundreds of years after the fact.
Right.
It was, and honestly, kind of holds the most power when it comes to the written word of anything that you would consider as, if it was to have a name.
Right.
Like God, I mean, I personally believe it's just there's a source energy that we all come from, that we all go back to, that we call God because it's just too glorious and magnificent to have, to call anything else.
Correct. I can understand that for sure. So then, I guess we're gonna take a little tangent real quick. I guess we're gonna talk a little bit about just like you in general, and like how you what has it been like experiencing reality as a human, trying to find connection to source and find your own spirituality, while I guess continuously gathering knowledge and then having to speak it and also defend it to naysayers or people who are questioning, or people who may say things about things that you believe in that are untrue.
This whole road, man, I've done nothing but really just get myself into one situation after the other that ended up being, positive, but still a situation nonetheless. For instance, like my very first Sundance that I was at, one of the uncles that had taken me in under his wing had decided that it was going to be a good idea to coat my pegs with the eagle bone marrow of 4 different eagles. And it was a male and female golden eagle and a male and female bald eagle. And that eagle bone marrow is used for seriously sacred stuff. Like, it is the equivalency of the holy anointing oil. Like, it is not for just slapping on pegs and shit. I mean, they use that stuff to anoint medicine and like seriously hardcore stuff like that. And there's an alchemy that takes place when these ceremonies occur, right? And because of that, the alchemy, the bridge being open and all of that, right? I danced with those pegs in my body. And the culmination of everything, what according to the medicine people that was there and all of that, right? The eagle's DNA fused with mine. And
that's cool.
Sent me on a path of spiritual servitude that will last lifetimes.
Right. Because the natives do believe in, like the Native Americans believe in reincarnation?
So there is an afterlife, right? And there is a life after the afterlife, and there is a life after the afterlife, but it's not necessarily this life.
It's not like linear like we're thinking of it right now.
It's multidimensional.
Right.
Like the Lakotas believe that their souls go back to the Pleiades constellation specifically.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, those constellations have a serious impact on the ceremonial astrological calendar for the Lakota people.
I just had a tangent question from that. So do you think that is maybe what influenced the colonization of America and really the public eradication of knowledge about their spirituality, because they believe in other beings coming from the sky, or that they're actually from a different star system, which would completely negate or cause an argument towards the Christian movement that was taking place and still, like, during the colonization of America specifically,
No, not at all. Because even if you go back before America was even twinkle in anybody's eye where it was accidentally discovered by Columbus, or whether the Vikings had already known about it and been trading with the people here. There have been documented.
I mean, because it's kind of interesting to think about how pretty much all ancient cultures
there had been documented
talk about aliens and like the different star systems. They were all obsessed with the stars.
Exactly. I mean, and like I said, and you can go clear back into like ancient Babylonian times, right? Ancient Sumerian times. Like we're talking clear back before even Moses, with Abraham and Isaac and all that shit. Like the first like written history of the people of the earth that we know of today. That not well, I guess that we knew of for a long time, because now we know there was ancient cultures in China and ancient cultures in they just didn't know of each other at the time, but all of them have ancient depictions of otherworldly visitors, and it's not even a matter of like an ancient aliens like a skeptic ancient astronaut theorist. Yeah, dude, it's not even about that at this point anymore. I mean, it is blatantly depicted in so many cultures that there has been extraterrestrial involvement with the human development from the get-go. I mean, the Book of Enoch is one that is explicitly so. The Ethiopian Orthodox or Sumerian Orthodox Church accepts it as canon into the Bible. The Christian faith does not, because it did not fit their narrative that they were building for the New Testament. That was completely made up by the Roman Catholic Church, because there was too many people and they needed a carrot and a stick to get people to fall in line. There was too many masses and only one pope. Right. So he had to come up with this, this massive, this burning hell pit that was never even referenced in any scripture. The only time any kind of burning pit was ever referenced in the Bible, period, Old or New Testament, was the burning garbage pit outside of Jerusalem. That was the parable that Jesus used. It was the equivalency of living life outside of God, was like living in that burning trash pit.
So now that we've we're bringing up Jesus again, I guess, how does it work? Obviously, if you're practicing the Native American practices and their ceremonies and their rituals, and really just you practice their religion, right? Well, the religion's just the word I'm going to use for this.
Way of life.
Way of life. How does that? How do you go by day to day, believing one thing and then interjecting maybe the beliefs of the Vedic traditions or Christian traditions or Hindu traditions or Buddhist traditions? How does the native way of life flow with other paths of spirituality?
Amazingly good question, honestly, and it is really, really crazy how intricately and how well that they all really end up tying in together. And the trick, I mean, my biggest thing is ancient knowledge. When it comes to anything spiritual, it's all about ancient knowledge. We're talking the dawn of human history, the dawn of the written word. At one point, all there was the word. For thousands of years, there was just the oral traditions of these experiences that shaped our. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Sumerians did. They had cuneiform, right? Yeah, they had the first, actual like written history, and those tablets should be taken seriously, because they were not written like the Bible was written 90 years later in third person. They were documented in as real time, right? Shit happened in that time with those people. Right. And a lot of people forget that when
they talk about the Anunnaki.
They do. They do, man, straight up. And Enlil and Enoch and
then if you go down that path, I mean, to be honest with you, that is...
Enoch was one of the prophets.
That is like the creation path, to be honest, that resonates with me really.
Enoch was ascended into the heavens. He was taken... He completely... I mean, for the time that these books were written, okay? Even Enoch's being, third... all of that, 90 years later, it's still... They had no physical technology to be able to tell you what the Earth looked like from space.
Right.
But yet his book completely gives you full detail of looking at the planet Earth from the starship that he was taken on into the heavens, where he met with God, where God anointed him. Oh my God, what's his name? Oh my Lord, the voice of God, Metatron.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Enoch was ascended to Metatron.
The Metatron is also a cube, isn't it? Like it's part of like a sacred geometry shape. The mega something.
The Metatron. It is a prominent angel in Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah. Yep.
Yep. That's the shape.
That is the name of God in sacred geometry.
Right. That's what I thought. Yep.
Often described as the voice of God or the scribe of heaven. He is believed to be the most powerful angel and is uniquely described as having been a human, the prophet Enoch, before ascending to heaven and becoming an angel.
It's pretty crazy how we automatically were just started to talk about all of this stuff and got bombarded with that, the universe bringing in sacred geometry, huh?
I mean,
it's everywhere. But it's crazy that
come on,
even when we weren't trying to bring up the sacred geometry aspect, which is just basically the geometry of all reality and the complexity of this 3D fractal sound and light matrix that we live in. But it's just crazy how like it's that it brought that up. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, but so that's one thing that I've learned in looking into ancient Solomonic teachings, the magic of King Solomon. The workings of him with the lesser and greater and lesser scrolls of Solomon, the six-pointed star that most people recall as the Star of David is really the seal of Solomon.
Okay.
And it has sacred workings to it that call to specific angels. I mean, directly. Like, it is some crazy ass shit that is, forgotten. It has been lost. It is lost knowledge for the most part. It is.
The Illuminati are like the secret societies are that way because they probably still have information like this, right?
I mean, so as far as like the Freemasons and the Illuminati and stuff like that, right? Like they have something that mankind doesn't have access to, and a lot of people attest them to be, say they're Satanists or whatever like that. But the only prerequisite when it comes to a religion is having a religion to be a part. They're not. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's Satanism, whether it's Hebrew, whatever it is. Right. You just have to subscribe to a power that is higher than yourself.
Right. I think they just subscribe to the reptilians that eat our kids.
Dude, I don't know. Like, there's a lot I don't want to know when it comes to those things. Those groups, because like you fuck around, you're in it, and then what? You
end up at a Diddy party.
Yeah, dude. I ain't trying. No, dude. I'm allergic to baby oil.
Yeah. But that's the thing is that these secret societies that do work behind the shadows, and for some reason are able to still maintain this immense amount of power over the whole globe for as long as they have. A lot of that is it finances or is it secret knowledge or a mixture of both?
A lot of that is strictly just finances, and that they've had the upper hand for so long that they've had the ability to
infiltrate everywhere,
to influence everything to them to maintain the upper hand, which
then would lead them to influence people away from that knowledge that they are hiding. Because I don't think that they're hiding it.
I don't think that they're hiding it. I think that they are blatantly just trying to get people to forget it.
Right.
They're not hiding it. Right. They've never been hiding it.
That's true. I guess the people to forget it or to stop asking questions about it is the goal.
And the forced intermediary of religion having to be your middleman to have that connection to the higher power.
Right, because there is no middleman.
That is one of the biggest lessons that Jesus taught on the Mount was that you can do what I can do.
And you'll do better, is actually
I
what he
am the
says.
Son of Man.
Yeah, he
All
says
of
you'll
the
do great
abilities
things.
that I have, you can have. You are the Son of Man as well. We are, you know what I mean? In the same light, in the same essence that we are all created. You just got to attune to the right vibrational frequency, and you will reach that ability.
Right. Like to walk on water, turn water to wine, heal,
Yeah, dude.
etc.
I mean, everything, all of that. The instant manifestation of your prayers.
Amen.
That's exactly what the miracles that Jesus performed was, the instant manifestation of his prayers, because of the energetic vibrational frequency that he resonated on.
And that's why they killed him.
They killed him because they didn't. They really the words that he may or may not have spoke on the cross. Forgive them, Lord, they know not what they do. They really didn't know what the hell they were doing. Like they were so arrogant in their ways to, I mean, so many of the signs that were called, you know, I mean, with John the Baptist, everything that affirmed, you know, his place as the Messiah, and yet their ignorance and their pride got in the way of accepting the son, you know, the son right in front of them, and you know, I mean,
I just think that
imagine what the world would be like if Christ was never crucified.
I mean, would he have lived the natural human life and passed into the next phase,
or would he have lived like 800 some odd years like Moses allegedly did?
That's true. And I guess they couldn't have allowed that to happen.
I mean, but if no one was stopping it in the first place, you know, why wouldn't they have allowed it to happen to me? You know what I mean? If Jesus was never crucified.
Right. That's a very interesting question. I mean, I think so. One of the things about Jesus that's kind of interesting is that the whole thing about Mary Magdalene, which bringing along like what ifs and whatever, is like there's a lot of people who believe that Mary Magdalene was Jesus's wife and they had kids, and that the bloodline of Jesus is still on the earth.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's not Mary Magdalene. It's Mary, Jesus's mother. Okay, everyone forgets that just because he was in immaculate conception does not mean that her husband and her did not bear their own children, that Jesus did not have brothers and sisters.
Right, he did. One of his brothers' name was James.
Would have been half brothers, you know what I mean? But still, they would have shared the same blood as Jesus through their mother. Right. Not through Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene, although she was there, you know, Jesus.
You don't think that
Jesus' love for the harlots was not a physical love. It was the same love that he had for the fucking sinners, for the lowlifes, for the thieves, for, you know what I mean? It was the same love like that. It wasn't a physical love.
Okay.
One of the oldest requirements in the Old Testament Hebrew religion is physical purity, to be able to attune to that frequency to commune with God.
Correct.
Like Moses had to abstain from his wife for so long, whatever, to be able to actually hear the voice of God. Right. And so for Jesus to be able to be on that level for that long through them stories, there's no way he was banging Mary.
I guess that's true. I still think that there's some truths about Mary Magdalene that aren't necessarily out there, but I could understand.
Well, there's a book of Mary Magdalene. That's the thing that like the Vatican has deemed one of the books that wasn't worthy of being biblical canon because of it, whatever, it didn't fit their narrative for what they were trying to build for the New Testament. Right. Like
everybody back then just wrote a book about him?
I mean,
everybody who knew him decided, like, I'm going to write a book about this guy.
No, they told the oral stories about him for 90 some odd years until somebody was like, I should write this shit down.
That's true, I guess. That's true. Because Christianity didn't start for very long after he died and all that.
You know, Paul, like, was it John? Damn, I think Paul, because or it was Peter. I think the cross of St. Peter. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Peter was the first pope.
Yeah. That's kind of fucked up. Huh?
You know what I mean? That was a thing, you know, so that the church was well established before, while the apostles were still alive. Right. But yet the book wasn't even begun to be written until they were all dead. Right. And why was that? Because the fact, you know what I mean? Can't check the facts. Right. Dudes that had the facts died. Right. Fuck it. Write it.
I mean, that's true. Because then, I mean, to
That's
be honest,
that's
the reason the history is the way that it is because
that's the
the
reason
history
we
is
have
written whoever wins the war.
That's the reason why we have the King James Bible, because King James filed to have a divorce through the fucking Roman Catholic Church. The Pope denied him his divorce. The royal family, they split. We'll start our own fucking church then, and that's where we got Protestants.
Damn, that's true. King James also wrote a book on demonology as well.
That was based off of the Book of Kings from Solomon and his teachings and all that. That's teachings that go down from.
It's still pretty interesting though.
They go down
the same
from
person
king
wrote a
bloodlines.
book about demonology and the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna change the directions a little bit away from this spiritual rabbit hole that I could just ask questions and talk about all day long. Let's talk about psychedelics, bro.
Oh, dope.
All right.
Because that's still in the same rabbit hole, bro.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess they go hand in hand together, right? But
If you use them properly, absolutely.
Okay, so let's unpack a little bit about. I guess my question is why are these medicines still illegal for us to consume in a recreational setting or even a therapeutic setting, where the poison of alcohol is available in every single store across America, across the world? The alcohol is everywhere, but why do you think that these medicines have been withheld from society?
Well, that's easy, bro. They are a direct threat to the establishment.
What about it? What is your opinion on how do they threaten the establishment?
Well, you can't have an established society of free thinkers.
Amen.
I mean, you can't have a school system made to make factory workers, mindless assembly line factory workers, that just all you're trained to do in school is running a damn assembly line till you get your diploma and you go work a drone life for somebody else's
dollar, right.
Entrepreneurial dream that they taught you how to not follow your own on.
Right.
It's that system that is threatened.
You think the religious system's threatened as well?
Absolutely.
Do you think there are people who are like Christian?
Absolutely, the religious system is threatened by it because that directly negates their insistence of you needing a middleman to make that connection to God. That you need that priest. That he has to be the one, the holy intercessor between you and God, because you just can't go do it your damn self.
I think so. In a roundabout way, it opens your eyes to just realize that all of this is fake.
It opens your eyes to realize the connectivity of everything and everyone. Like the real, and we're gonna get biblical on it again. And even though it's a book that I don't take seriously because it's been revised so many times, but it's a book that's got so many good examples of.
It's full of truth, though, too.
It's full of good examples of how to live in a good way. You know what I mean? Just things, just shit that.
But it talks about psychedelics.
I
mean, it talks about the Nephilim and giants and aliens and stuff.
Oh,
I mean, it does say all seed-bearing plants I give to you, so I don't know why cannabis is illegal, but.
All right, so when it comes to the religious establishment being threatened by psychedelics, right? Man, I completely forgot the tangent that I was about to go on with the political part, but it'll come back to me as we talk about this. But psychedelics have been used spiritually for, ever.
Time,
I mean,
right?
That's why one of the most debated ingredients in the holy anointing oil is the Hebrew word cannabosum and the translation of it, whether it's sweet calamus or cannabis.
Right.
And
that's the discrepancy people argue about, is whether it's one or the other.
Theological scholars and historians have that debate to this day of the translation of the word cannabosum, whether it translates to cannabis or sweet calamus. And honestly,
it's cannabis, bro.
It makes no sense to use calamus with the rest of the recipe.
Right.
The cinnamon, the myrrh, I mean, those are all herbs that interact well with cannabis.
Right.
As well. And dude, the amount of that, like, for 1
that's
gallon
what the
of
wise
oil,
men
dude,
brought?
for 1 gallon of oil, they were using a 2:4:4:2 ratio of herbs. So like it was 12.6 pounds of myrrh, okay?
Right.
6.5 pounds of of cinnamon, 6.5 pounds of cannabis, and 12.5 pounds of
Frankincense.
it was
I don't know why I said that.
actually cassia.
Cassia. Okay.
Yep,
But
and
that's
that's for 1 gallon of holy, like 1 gallon, dude, and like all those pounds, that's like a paste by the time it's done.
Right.
And you got to strain that out with for the
Right.
cheesecloth and all that, and like
Well, so back to this the Native Americans actually. So
yeah,
the peyote is the substance or the psychedelic medicine that they use predominantly, correct? Or
Well-
are there other substances that are used in ceremonies?
so when we talk Native Americans, we're going to talk the native people from South America to Canada, okay?
okay.
The indigenous people of both Americas, because both America's indigenous people were highly spiritual people. They utilized highly psychoactive medicines to to reach altered states of consciousness, to commune with
God or the higher
you know,
power or
yeah,
whatever, right.
the universe, man. I
Right.
mean, the fucking everything it be, like everything we're all connected to, and everything that has a life and will, and ever exists and never will.
Right.
And so in Mexico, right, the Aztecs, before the Spaniards came and bred with the Aztecs and made what we know as Mexicans today, right?
Right.
The traditional and tribal people of that region utilized the sacred mushroom.
Right.
That was their peyote,
Right.
right? They call them the little people, everything. Like they treat them with respect as if they are living, like fucking a part of the.
Right.
You know what I mean, it's like a conscious entity. And then you got the huicholes, that is northern Mexico, southern United States, and they are the original peyote people, and they're the ones that the peyote story comes from, with the grandmother and child that was wandering in the desert and forever, to the point where there's starvation, and they prayed for sustenance, and then they come upon this cactus and ate upon this cactus, and God bestowed on them everything that they needed to go back and teach their people to live a spiritual life.
That's powerful, actually.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've eaten peyote loads of times. Never have I done it outside of ceremonial setting,
Right.
and I won't ever. And I'd recommend to anybody that's watching this, if you ever have a chance to experience peyote recreationally, turn tail and run. Do not do it. It is not good for your overall spiritual well-being. Even if you have a great time in the moment, you will have repercussions later that you will not be able to account for. Why is my life going to shit? Oh, damn, shouldn't have done that peyote like that. Like, the spirits don't play.
Right. Because those medicines were never intended. I mean, as much as I do want to go and eat some of these medicines and be able to hear the sound waves come out of the bass drum while everyone's playing techno music and stuff, all that stuff.
Well,
But that's
shit,
not
it
what
ain't
those
even,
were.
it ain't even like that,
But
man.
it wasn't those medicines originally weren't intended for that purpose. It was a spiritual, like, rite of passage, or it was to
It was a
become
an
adult
direct
in your
it was a direct
tribe, or-
sacrament to commune with
God.
with the higher power, straight up, like to attune your spiritual self to the spiritual vibration of the earth and the universe that you live in.
Right. So I was actually talking to someone about this the other day, about why obviously
Like
why
the Native
I haven't
Americans
done
believe the Milky Way is the trail that the spirit takes back to the Pleiades.
right. But I was talking to him about how some of these plant medicines I don't want to experience in like this like little recreational party sense. I want to like actually do a ceremony. And I was like talking about how like I want to go to Peru and experience an ayahuasca ceremony.
You don't got to
And
go to
then
Peru for that.
But,
You
right,
gotta,
but he told me
Brazil.
that made a lot of sense to me. Is he said that we're waking up, like we as people need to start making and creating our own.
Dude, so like
ceremonies based off of the medicines that
this could sound
have,
cheesy as fuck, but that song come out way ahead of its fucking time. We are now in the age of Aquarius, which
Right.
means the age of enlightenment.
Right.
That's why we're seeing so many star seeds come to life, and
Everyone's waking up. Right?
and honestly, people like myself being woken to their planetary identity, the ancient soul life that I've come to find out that through my experience with that psychic medium that I had, that and to divulge that I am of Syrian and Lyrian descent from ancient star seed types. and it directly correlates with my curiosity and my want and longing for the involvement with the Native American ways of life because of their direct connection to those stars.
Right.
I mean, and now we're seeing a time that more and more of these.
If just real quick for just for people who may not know, what is a starseed?
A starseed is a soul that incarnated on this realm that is not from this realm.
For the purpose of shifting the culture and consciousness?
So there are 4 or 5 starseed archetypes that we know of. They are all around the Orion and the Pleiades star systems. There's the Arcturian, the Sirian from the Sirius star, the Lyrians from the Lyra star system.
They're just like the star systems that have been looking over Earth.
The Nordic aliens.
Yeah, the Pleiadians.
Exactly. Yep. They are the Pleiadians, the ones that look like the tall Nords, the Thors of Asgard that we know of. All that. It's so.
So the age of Aquarius, that's significant because it's like turning on turning on something inside of us to activate.
So whatever universal shift or dimensional shift that is taking place right now is sparking an awakening of these souls. And it's, I mean, I wasn't even looking at, this medium had found me pretty much. I mean, she had a reading about me, like doing somebody else's reading. I come up, and it took me 3 months to track her down to be able to get in front of her to be like, because we both had just head scratching questions about this. Like, why did I come up at somebody else's for one, I mean, the hell is that about?
Right.
And then to find out, that this is my 7th time on this planet. I mean, now I don't disregard what she said because of the details of the things that she did have in my life that are memories that if you weren't there, you shouldn't know.
Right.
And she knew. She was describing my dad, my uncle Shunka on the afterlife that, have been gone for some years now, and describing them like they were right there in front of her to the point, insane.
To a T.
But yeah, and she was all the way in New York. I'm in Utah. She don't know me from Adam. She don't never seen no pictures. None of my family. None of the people that she could have been that brought up, like anything for her to know the detail that she knew that she was giving me, that just made it incredibly impossible to disregard
what she said.
Anything else that might require a tinfoil hat to hear.
Right. I mean, that is true. I think that, but mediums and clairvoyance and people with these like supernatural abilities they've been around for a long time.
Oh yeah, no, a very long time. But there's also been a lot of hokies in that midst too,
Right,
so
the ones that are out for financial
you really
gain.
have to stress your power of discernment when dealing with these people and to know, if you've got the real deal or not. But really, really quickly into your experience, you will know with beyond every fiber of your being
Right.
that you are dealing with a real
Medium.
actual, it's
Right.
the real deal. Like this,
I heard something the other day saying that the Salem witch trials weren't even about witchcraft. It was about men wanting to take land from women.
No, not at all. The Salem witch trials were a complete hokum of. So the back in the time, right, in Salem, all that they farmed rye wheat. Okay, what mold grows on rye wheat?
Ergot,
What is contained in ergot rye?
lysergic acid.
The 25th compound.
Right.
Those bitches were eating moldy rye wheat, unknowingly ingesting LSD and tripping balls. And being
that's why they're
accused
like,
of being
"You're a
witches.
witch."
Yeah, straight up.
She's like, I'm seeing dragons.
Yeah, dude, for real, like straight up, like thinking that they had the power of the universe, like
Yeah.
all of that shit, like fucking any witchy shit that they did.
Really, they're
they
probably
felt
just talking
directly
like us. They're
empowered.
like, I can feel everything.
Yeah, dude.
It's all vibration and frequency.
Because ergot is a fungus. It is a mushroom.
Right.
Like before LSD is extracted from that fungus, it is just a mushroom compound.
Right.
So they were just tripping on on mushrooms, bro, on the rye wheat,
Right.
and having the connection of that, you know what I mean? The earth connection, the spiritual connection, everything.
Right.
They're feeling that empowerment to where at some point, I'm sure a couple of them did try to fucking cast a couple spells.
Right. And they maybe worked.
Who knows?
I mean,
but like, I'm just saying,
faith of a mustard seed.
you go back to that fucking time when you don't know how to describe nothing, like anything like that.
Right.
You know, and
That's
fucking...
true. That is very true, actually. You know what I mean? I mean, I could also believe that potentially there were men in that part of the world that didn't think that these women should have land.
Women didn't have land then. Women had no power.
No, because of the wars.
No, dude, they didn't.
Shit.
There was nothing. Women did not. They were subservient to their husbands. That was a like very Protestant and Quaker thing. Like, the women didn't have rights until the women's rights movement in the '60s, dude.
That's true. You're right. Thinking about maybe wrapping it up here for this episode 1. Is there anything that you want to get off your chest? Anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, man, I can't wait to see what comments that we get. Honestly, like I want to see who may or may not be feeling what we're
right. I agree.
You know what we're putting down. I want to and hopefully get some decent questions to answer next time, and
right.
also spark some
absolutely
spark some greater topics. A lot of the shit that we've said has been really off the wall and really profound, but a lot of it is very verifiable and researchable, and I hope that anybody that watches and listens
doesn't just take our word for it and does their own research.
Absolutely digs into it, dives into it with both feet, and really just opens the floodgates for knowledge, because I mean, knowledge isn't power until it's applied, but you have to gain it before you can apply it.
Correct. I agree. Well, with that, welcome and or not even welcome. Sorry, I don't know why I said that, but thank you for joining us for episode.
Aloha, bro.
Aloha.
Hello and goodbye.
Hello
fuckers.
there, sir. But thank you for joining us for episode 1 of the Trip Over Drip podcast. Like I said, if you have any comments you wanted to drop in there, I'll try my best to look at them and respond to them. There's more of this to come.
Also, if you want to drop any questions directly, Instagram Jason Beverage or Facebook Jason John Beverage. If you want to just any direct questions that you had for anything I said.
Have a good night.